This video takes a closer look at workspaces in Altair Knowledge Hub. A workspace includes tables loaded, prep operations and transformations applied, as well as named exports and schedules. As we see from the workspace overview, this workspace currently has two data sources, a daily sales report and a part supplier master list spreadsheet. Tables created from these data sources are also saved in the workspace, and any of these tables may then be published and shared with other users. The workspace also includes named exports, as well as schedules. We'll try those out later. Now, when taking a closer look at the table, you see the available columns, which you can move around and hide or unhide. You can also examine individual columns and load statistics to see the distribution. So here we see that we have an appropriate distribution of supplier country values based on the histogram. The workspace also includes all data prep operations carried out on a table. Each change is presented in a format that is easy to comprehend, and you may add comments as well to describe changes, and even delete, edit, or disable changes. An entire change list may be exported to the library for sharing and reuse. And conversely, this may be imported if you wish to apply an entire set of prep operations to your table. Back in the library, we now see the change list we exported earlier. This may be shared with others for use in similar data sources. Published tables from other workspaces may be used as data sources in your workspace to arrive at datasets presenting new information. This workspace has a table based on a potential stock-out report. It shows various figures such as the daily forecast, quantity on hand, quantity in transit, quantity ordered, and so on. Let's say that we want to determine which products that were recently sold will be running out of stock soon, based on info from the sales report we looked at previously and the potential stock-out report. To begin, let's bring in the table Quantity Sold by Supplier, which was published earlier from the first workspace. Next, let's join the two tables using the material columns as join keys. We don't need all the columns, just the material, description, and quantity columns from Quantity Sold by Supplier, and the figures for quantity on hand and the quantity in production from the second table. This isn't quite what we need yet. We need to subtract the quantity sold from the amount we have on hand, as well as the amount we have in production. For that, we create a calculated field that will return the quantity of products we will still have available. We want to add the quantity in production with the quantity on hand, then subtract the quantity sold. However, this still does not readily show which products will be running out. Let's add a filter on records having the available quantity below 0. Now this shows that we need to replenish road pedals and touring seats as the available counts for these are negative. We can add a comment to the workspace so that users we share this with can weigh in on how we came up with this information. Now let's export this new table to the library in the folder where we have our other stock-out report. There are additional settings for when the table exists already. In this case, let's overwrite the file and click on Export Now. A message appears confirming the export. When we go back to the library, we see our export, and it is now possible to share this with the rest of the organization. Back in our workspace, note that we can also set up a schedule for the export. Here, we can set the recurrence interval of how often we want to run the export. Let's set this, for instance, to run daily. You may also opt to use monitoring, which allows the export to run when data arrives.